today you'll see from the title, it is a bit of an update stroke maintenance day for me. Had the car back for quite a good couple of months where I've been driving it really hard, testing out a lot of the low boost settings more than anything, to be honest with you, but we're just at a point where we wanted to really up it. We were going to at Race Wars, but time didn't allow that. Also, it turns out that I have I think a rotary cowl switch issue, which we're going to be sorting out in the next coming weeks. So once we've sorted that out, we're going to up the boost, drive it on the road a little bit, try and see what we can get 100 to 200, try and sort that out a little bit more, make it a little bit quicker. We've been doing 6.1 really easy, just fairly gentle through the gears. So I think mid fives are going to be very easy on the low setting. We should be able to get, when we up it a little bit, easy in the low fives and probably kissing 4-second area, so high fours. And on the high settings we should be able to get deep in fours, like mid fours, maybe even low fours, I think. It has been absolutely amazing. There's no oil now since I've done that special can start. Oil, residual oil in the top can, so it doesn't mean it doesn't need to be empty, it's just amazing. You've got to keep an eye on that. It's just really not breathing badly now. It's a clever system that really works and helps the car. And however, maintenance is really key on a high horsepower motor. Plugs should be changed, I think, more frequently. They're a Iridium plug, great plug, but I think we're going to change that and be nice to the car. So full oil change and a spark plug change today. I'll show you a little bit of what I'm doing, but you guys don't need to know. And I think more so because mine's different to yours or a lot of other people's cars. It has a remote relocated oil sandwich plate, so with the thermostat on there, at a higher different area to a standard one, so it may not help people, but I'll show you anyway. And plugs, they're probably minutely more fiddly with different parts on there on the top side, which I'll show you, but it's still really easy to change. I think it's just number 6 that can be fixed. I'll have a look at the top of my head. I think it's really quite simple. An awesome piece from the guys at Boosted _ International Instagram. Not got many followers actually. They should have all their pages. They basically produce something I think concept, and most of you will probably say and agree. MKIV Supra don't have one of these, which is it's really simple the way it's designed. It's nothing special as such in terms of look, but it looks fine. At the end of the day, it replaces the ashtray, and this is a cup holder. It's a really nice cup holder. It goes where the ashtray sits normally. It'll fit a can, a kind of Red Bull can, and a normal standard can, as well as some coffee kind of cups. But probably not anything bigger than that. So it won't, it's not going to fit that. But it doesn't really bother me because normally I have cans of woke. I call them cans of woke energy drinks. Bit naughty, but hey. But this is a godsend. I want in the car. So Boosted International on Instagram. I'll give you a link in the bio. They do this cup holder. It's I think it's like a 3D printed part. I'll be able to see from the design, just like kind of milled or 3D printed. I think probably milled. I don't know. Machine cut. I'm not sure. More so a reason why I want to change this. To be honest with you, some of my interior parts, I think I'm buying a new one of these, but it doesn't really matter because this will, even if I put this cup holder in here, I'm not going to ruin it. But basically, I think I'm about to order with bits full new part of this. Whether I'm going to go silver again, I'm not sure, but it comes with a whole new leather boot and it's fairly inexpensive. It's circa £200. I mean, actually for that it seems expensive, but Supra tax, people know this. Anyone who's watching will know that Supra parts are unfortunately ridiculously expensive for what they are. Although actually for that, I don't think it's that bad. Anyway, as you can see, it's just 1, 2, 3 screws even, I think, by the look of it. Is there any hidden ones? I don't know. But yeah, not many screws. Yeah, it looks like it's just 3. Yeah, so we'll go and replace that now. It's not going to take long at all. And put it in. Holy shit, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited. I'll tell you why. I mean, look at the state of that. This actually weighs a fair amount of weight. not crazy amount, but a fair amount. And this is super lightweight, which means weight savings popping. Alex is so happy. Weight savings, it's not a lot, but it's still weight savings. Happy days. It's all in. Actually, it fits really, really deep. I can. Yeah. Alex is happy. Just a kind of little tip, in my opinion, guys. Just be really careful actually with it. It's relatively delicate a piece, so you've got to be really, really careful. I heard a few creaks and cracks, but it's all good. Just yeah, delicate little piece, but yeah, it's nice bit of kit, and I'm pleased I can now drink while I'm in here, burning up because I've got no aircon. This is my all. Like I say, I've got 10 litres of it. Should allow me to have a 1 litre-ish spare. It's Miller's Nano Drive Triple Easter CFS 10 weight 50 NT plus. It's basically got this NT plus. Something to do with the special nano technology, special ultra low friction kind of additives in it. Really, really clever. British company, and they know what they're doing. There's a lot of really good tech spec and proof of some really impressive things that come from running this oil, including a little bit of extra horsepower. Not a lot, but a little bit. But the main thing is the protection, especially when you've got a motor in there that probably is worth, component wise, easy, probably 40 grand, £40,000 easy, probably more. And that's not including the ancillaries on the end of the engine. Mental. But yeah, this is what you need, and that's what you need when you've got a motor that's built for about 2,000 horsepower. You don't mess around. Let's run the good stuff. So yeah, we're going to pop that in obviously and go from there. Oh, look at that, that's nice. That's my weekend plaything, my little side bitch. Very nice, love that. Review coming soon. Hey, look at that, on cue. I did it on purpose. At the moment, you'll see this is the rotary cowl switch. That's what we're having issues with. But these are my spare plugs. Let's put them on here. Don't worry, I'm going to do it nice and gently. So this is what I run. BKR 8EIX. Some other people know the code as 2668. It's an Iridium NGK. NGK Iridiums are the best in the game, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, from the fact of how reliable they are and how good they are in general, how little breakdown and crap that people have had with them. These are the daddies. There are some more expensive, even more expensive plugs out there, but these are the king ding-a-ling for, I would say, a reasonable amount of money. Yeah, you don't need to gap them, especially on an ignition system like what we've got in there. Obviously, we've got an R35 GTR coil, which does help, and obviously running a Cyvex helps as well. So you don't need to gap them to different small gaps when you've got good ignition systems, ECU control, and yeah, basically good coils. So it won't hurt if you do want to close the gap. Maybe if you're running even more power than me, but I've kind of said maybe we'll close the gap down, or I was going to close the gap down, but we've not had or seen any signs of needing to do that. So yeah, you can just run these out of the factory if you've got all of what I've got. If you haven't, then yes, I would probably close the gap down to 0.26 to 0.29-ish. But yeah, let's stick these bad boys in. Oh, look at that. Makes me get on all unnecessary. This is a beautiful engine bay. I love it. I love looking at it. So just to kind of show you top side of what issues we may have, to be honest with you, no, it is really straightforward. So because of the new beautiful wiring loom from the guys at Race Cow, Rob Fisher, if you're watching, you know who you are. All I would do is I'm going to remove this, obviously, just to get a bit of access, better access. But to be honest with you, you could probably do it without, but it's just going to be far easier to do that. One Allen key, just all of those, all 6, unplug them, pull them out, and yeah, they should just pop straight out, plugs in. Happy days. So that's very straightforward. Actually, nothing really is in the way. Taking that the plug off the back of that coil pack. Is it going to be hard? Nah, not really. Nice and straightforward, to be honest with you. It should be really, really easy. The next bit that is, strangely, despite being in a remote different position, the relocation of the oil system, if I remember rightly, it feels like I haven't done it ages. It's down here, so just under the plenum. And because the plenum is a big ass beast of a plenum, there's the oil filter. So, is that going to be accessible with hand? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's going to be hard. So, I mean, I'm not going to, certainly not taking no plenum off. That's a huge job. But it looks like it's going to be quite a pig. I'm going to report back in a second, guys. Okay, so it is actually not too bad. I basically can stick my arm in and get to where I need to get just, but I don't know how much strength and energy I can, and grip I can get on there. Strangely, I reckon if I had an arm which is 2 or 3 inches longer, I reckon it could be done. So I might, weirdly, go and get a friend to come and help me do it, because I just think my little tiny short ass arms, my dinosaur like T-Rex arms, because I'm a short ass, maybe a little bit too short to pull it off. I'm going to give it a go, and then if not, I'm going to get a friend to help me do it. But yeah, we're going to crack right on with all of this and the maintenance, and keep watching and I'll show you a few little bits and a few tricks and whatnot of the trade. But yeah, let's get stuck in. Okay, we've gone back to the plugs and yeah, starting doing that before we do the oil change. Disconnected all the connectors, and there is a billet. Actually, in case you didn't know, I think I can't remember whether I told you, these are R35 GTR genuine coils and coil packs. And yeah, there's a billet bracket that basically allows it to sit really nicely in this kind of array. There's one Allen key bolt that holds each coil pack in. We're going to undo them and pop them out. From my understanding of these before, you have to be really careful because the inside of the pack has this little spring, like every one of them does, but they do tend to pop out, and I think they even have an O-ring. You've got to be really careful not to lose anything or not to drop anything. Yeah, I'm going to be really careful, and I'll update you on how things go. I've managed to get them out, and it was not easy. It's better just to take it out all as one piece, even though these have these little dowels, which one of mine has kind of popped out of, which is really awkward. You then got to centre align it and get your Allen bolt in the 2 bits that hold it on, which can be a bugger when you've got all of these in. But like I say, one thing I will say is you will not likely get leaks on these because they're so tight in the I don't know, sleeves or bore, whatever you want to call it, that they really are hard to pull out, and they've got such suction and force on there, which obviously is a really good thing because no ingress goes in there. They all look really good, actually, to be fair. But one thing I did notice is one of the little bolts that holds in this side was lifting a little bit, or was loose, should I say? And I think that may be I had a weird what I thought was a TPS issue. It was quite loose, so I wonder whether that's lifted and that's not in there as well, and we have a kind of more of a firing issue at specific RPMs on these two. I don't know for sure, but it's due a spark plug change, which we're doing now anyway. But yeah, we'll carry on. So, time to look at the plugs. One of the beauties of actually this amazing loom that Rob Fisher from previously from Race Cow, still good friends with Remain at Race Cow, used to work there. Rob Fisher, big up yourself if you're watching this, buddy. He done the loom, and it's all wired up ignition. But that's not that one. Ignition, focus, come on, focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Yeah, so it's easy to identify which plug should go on each one, which is good for obviously getting the firing right. Obviously the ECU and Cyvex will make sure that things are right, or if they're awry, it will make sure that it lets you know. However, beautiful to have identification, and I prefer it that way. So yeah, let's get the plugs out and check the condition of each and every cylinder. Ooh, and there you have it all done, guys. Yeah, it's not too bad. Once you kind of get in the gist of doing this, it's a simple job. That's part of the reason why I love working on these 2JZ engines. Very easy access to everything, unlike some crazy new modern cars that are really, really awkward. Yeah, she's all good. Just got to tighten these down, give it a start up, and jump onto the oil change. So actually, yeah, before I move on, just thought I'd give you a little look at the cylinders. Cylinder numbers, they look actually decent, but you can tell they're worn. Different varied parts of the plug. The bottom of the thread is more coked up on 1 and 6. Makes sense. I think they get a bit of heat. Being the last cylinder tends to get a lot of heat. First cylinder does get a bit of heat. I think from my understanding from the intake, the way the intake goes in, and then that's just heat from everything basically on the 6. And then they vary from the insides. You can tell different parts of different discoloration, which is interesting really. But in general, if I can get it to focus, in general, tips look okay. Same kind of colour. That one's maybe a bit different colour. The backside cylinders are maybe on the electrode a little bit darker, but by and large, they're not cylinder to cylinder. They're not terribly bad, but they definitely need changing, and they are sweet and new now. Happy days. On to another day, and basically I didn't show you what I've been doing, but obviously it was the oil change. And one thing I will say is, why do we modify cars? Wouldn't it just be easier just to buy a really, really quick car that's just quick out of the factory? Nah, because they cost obviously crazy money. But anyway, like anything, I'm fucking covered. I've just done the oil change, and unfortunately I had to do a stab and jab jobby, which fucking pig, and this was atrocious of a job. Yeah, stab and jab, unfortunately. Yeah, what the main reason why is, it just seems as though for some reason I've got this Mishimoto oil relocation kit. I've had it for ages, but I swear only of late it's been shittier to work on the car. But I think it's mainly due to where the intake manifold is. Before, when you had a stock intake manifold, you could reach down and really get 2 hands on it and normally wrench it off. But that being said, I feel like I am putting on all filters maybe on a bit tight. Just note to self, obviously you've got to do them up reasonably tight, but I'd normally say just hand tight, little tiny nip, and I mean little tiny, not kind of really get a wrench, or like you wrench your hands over it and do it, because they are a pig. And what I find on those relocation filter housings is when they're really tight, if you try to wrench them round with your hand, the whole housing just starts to move and rotate, and if you get that, it's a nightmare. There's no access, or hardly any access. So yeah, like I say I've had to stab and jab, which I hate doing. Anyway, it's off. I'm gonna get the new oil filter on and get the new oil in and get it run up. So yeah, keep watching. So it is a brand new K&N HB 1002. If you want to know for reference, this is the one that will fit stock 2JZ, and normally very, very good for modified cars. I've seen high horsepower cars using this one. As always, guys, fill up the oil to pretty much the brim, to the point of where it will even spill out as you're putting it on the housing, in kind of that orientation, how mine goes. And yeah, I'm filling with this Miller's CFS 10 weight 50 NT, which is basically a full triple Easter oil. So it's basically a real high-end motorsport race oil. Minusculely higher kind of viscosity than typically you put in a car, because obviously this gets subject to some really crazy high speed runs and things like that, so it gets pushed, and it's obviously high horsepower. So clearances are pretty much good for what my build has been. So if you have got a built motor or whatever you've got, ask your engine builder for recommendation realistically of weight, but this is what I use. So I'm going to, like I say, fill this up, put a tiny little ream of oil all around here. It helps it come off. In my case, it hasn't. But yeah, let's get this on. Before we go any further, let's we're at a point where we want to really put this sump plug bolt back on with its washer. Just check the washer for kind of where this one's all right. We will reuse it. Get WD-40 and just wipe tissue around it. Just try and get rid of as much debris as possible. We did have a little bit of nasties, well, not nasties, but tiny little filings in there, but you would expect it. I've still got a very new, fairly fresh motor in there, but it's in general looked, you know, fairly good, fairly normal, well, very normal. So yeah, just clean this up, put that back on. 14 mil on this one, but yeah, check your sump bolt. I'm going to sign off there really quickly because it's been a long day and I'm finished. It's been absolutely annoying because of that bloody stab and jab, but it's done. Car's running. I've just started it up, just topping it up to a nice level. Just wanted to give you an update. Like I said, got a few more things I want to do to this just before we get it on race fuel and get it out hopefully one more time this year on the half mile to see if we can go 180 range, so 180 to kind of 185 miles an hour kind of range. It doesn't sound like a crazy amount, but it is good because it will be pushing those 1100 horsepower McLarens if I can get it to do that kind of speed, which I honestly think it can. And next year we may be looking at a bigger turbo, and we'll be next year definitely trying to push for 200 mile an hour plus. Not much more than 200, but around 200. Just trying to break that 200 mile an hour mark with the new setup that will go on to this car next year. And many people will be thinking, well, why are you getting rid of that setup already? Well, we're not. If people have kind of followed us and heard some of the things I've said on the stories, I am planning to run 2 turbo setups with 2 total different map settings for different turbos. So most of the time I'll be still running that turbo on the road for short course track stuff, road, fast road, and the half mile stuff I'll put the bigger turbo on and we'll go and give it a good old send. Anyway, I'm going to say sign off and say goodbye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. See you again in the next one. Bye for now.